Welcome to ESPN's Saturday Primetime. You're watching the SEC on ESPN. In this state, football has always been king, but today, basketball takes center stage and reaches new heights. Number 1 Auburn has made the trip to Tuscaloosa, where the second-ranked Crimson Tide and their passionate fan base. And it'll be Auburn, the visiting team, wearing white today, getting the first possession.
All right, Alabama's big guys playing right in the center of the lane.
Playing off Chris Moore. He's getting the start on the wing. Miles Kelly knocks it down, and he can certainly do that. A look at the Alabama lineup. They are big across the front court. 3 guys, 6'10 or 6'11. And then, of course, Mark Sears in the backcourt along with Chris Youngblood. Youngblood has really brought some physicality and shooting to the Bama start. Alabama likes to play at as fast a pace as any team in the country, but it is Auburn off to a great lead 90 seconds into this one.
But Nate Oates talked to his team about that. Florida got way down against Auburn, down 10 early, wound up winning the game going away. You just have to keep playing.
What a rebound by Dylan Cardwell. Broom will try another one, and it is 9-0. For 10 at 20 points in the game. Alabama still can't get one to go, but Grant Nelson runs it down. And a fresh possession. Sears will try again. Nelson another offensive rebound, and he draws a foul.
Boy, great job by Grant Nelson to go hard trying to block out Grant Nelson. That's advantage Nelson.
Nelson, 3 years with, has checked in for Denver Jones for Auburn. A couple of early substitutions, Jay, for Bruce Pearl here in this game.
Well, a lot of guys are going to play in this one. But to Grant Nelson, to your point, how good was he at Kentucky in that win Alabama had in rough? He had 25 points, 11 rebounds, and really attacked the paint with force.
Broom getting into the paint. And the soft touch for him. He's got 8 already.
Cliff Amore trying to keep him away from that. Left hand did a good job. That fadeaway shot, that's a tough 2. Got to give him credit.
Sears with a burst of speed, and he draws a foul. Got a chance for 3.
That is one of the main reasons
we weren't sure about his availability before the game. Sears misses the free throw. And Alabama, of course, is well aware of that.
But his last 2, he's off to a great start in this one. His last 2, even though he's averaging just under 18 a game, he's 14 of 35 from the field.
Chaney Johnson hits the 3. And that's several days. There's even more to come from Chaney Johnson. He is getting better and better. Says nobody on his team works harder than Johnson does. Youngblood, got to respect his 3-point shooting ability. He'll drive it on Baker Mazzara and finish it in Alabama.
And Holloway.
Mark Sears 1 for 5 in the early going of this one. Drives on Baker Mazzara, draws the foul, and it goes.
Tell me that doesn't look like Jalen.
A season ago when he was a second-team All-American. Sears again trying to turn the corner, keeps the dribble alive. In the backcourt along with Holloway. Diabate left alone.
Like it by Nate Oates in this one.
I think this is his big game jacket, though. We've seen this one a couple of times before. This Alabama team has so many offensive weapons, and you could say the same for Auburn. Big shot there. It's 7 times. Jay, they've got 7 different players who have scored 20 or more points in a game this year.
Good pass down court.
Baker Mazzara short on the 3, but fouled on the play by Aiden Holloway. And it
pass ahead to get it into the paint, then the kick out. You see Aiden Holloway just trying to go past Chad Baker Mazzara. Didn't get past him, went right in.
In a game in a row, he's coming off the bench. One thing he can always
on Chad Baker Mazzara being injured and banged up. I mean, his last 2 games.
You know, how cool is it that this game, and he means this in a very respectful way, that it's not at Rupp Arena or Fog Allen or Knoxville or Duke, Carolina. He goes, this game's in Alabama. Both of these coaches have taken a tremendous amount of pride, Jay, in the way that their programs are performing and the way it's elevated the fandom for basketball across the entire state.
Alabama for a Alabama-Auburn matchup that is not football.
And with all the great things in the Iron Bowl on the football side, the rivalry there, they've never had a 1 versus 2. They got one here in the basketball. Nice turnaround by Janai. Down. Stevenson. And the rebound to Baker Mazzara.
Excellent defensive possession for Auburn. They kept Alabama out of the paint. Good pass.
Very pretty 2-man game between Baker Mazzara and Johnson.
Boy, that was a needle threading to get it to Chaney Johnson. Johnson has had an impact on this game since he's been in off the bench.
And now he stays in front of Sears on the drive. Little Euro step by Grant Nelson will go.
Nelson has to be played as a driver. He's right-handed, loves the right-hand drive. You can't worry about his shot. You have to worry about him putting it on the deck and getting a piece of the paint.
Auburn led 9-0. Bama made a run. Auburn by 6 now. Johnson fouled. Considering, as Jess said, Jay, the number of minutes he gets, he is really a huge contributor.
Jones in the early years at Alabama, and to shoot it, the time was going out on the shot clock, but that's not the shot they want from Cliff Amore.
That's his first 3-point attempt of the season, as Jay said, because the clock was winding down. Pettiford kept it alive, but now it's numbers for the tie. And the foul on Miles Kelly. So Reed at the line for Alabama knocks down the first. Coming up next on this great day of a win and then back into the SEC, Kentucky. Next man up philosophy right now. They are down some key. Auburn gets back, keeps him out of transition. Youngblood. Offensive rebound, Amore. Sears a deep one. And they still don't have a made free. Holloway. Got it. Shooter.
Miscommunication on defense as to who was guarding Kelly and Cardwell. Fortunate.
Nelson with a shot fake. Stevenson a corner 3, and Alabama's back within 1.
So leading the league.
And again, they've topped 100 points 7 times this year, 4 of them in SEC play. As the rebound comes down to Denver Jones. Jones flies in and finishes.
Boy, great job by Denver Jones. The long rebound.
The big scores for the Tigers, but what a game he had Tuesday against Vandy. 4 threes. And I guess you want to recruit walk-ons who have the same shoe size as some of your best players.
Well, now they carry the players' shoes. Make sure they have them.
Diabate initiating the contact with Cardwell, and he's... Well, a great scene here for game day on ABC, and 4 highly ranked teams with 4. Supte with an air ball on the second free throw attempt, and Auburn with the ball and a 4-point lead.
Middle pick and roll, and Dylan Cardwell a lob threat.
Baker Mazzara, the lefty, scoops it up and in with the right.
So hard to stop in the middle third of that floor. And if you go to Baker Mazzara, if he misses it, Dylan Cardwell's right there for the offensive rebound.
And at the other end, it'll go for the freshman LeBaron. 5 control. Draws 2, finds Broom. Cardwell back to Broom, still plenty of time.
Those are some big mitts by Janai Broom that grabbed that ball.
Kelly, beautiful feed. Cardwell the finish.
Not known as a driver, but Miles Kelly, the best 3-point.
6-point game, under 5 to go here in the first half at Coleman Coliseum. Number 1 and number 2. Philon the drive. Hangs in the air and hits.
Well, it's amazing, Dan. We talk so much about Alabama and their 3-point attack, but they're really a driving team. They're looking to get the ball into the paint. In the slot, they want straight line drives to draw help so they can kick it and then play out of it.
They're leaving some points on the line, though. 5 for 9 so far. Pull up by Pettiford is good.
He has got so much game, though, and wrapping his arms around him so he couldn't move. Good fake.
Youngblood the kick. And the 3 is short for Darion Reed, but Alabama another offensive rebound and another Auburn foul. Youngblood at the line suffered a knockdown 3s. So he is now starting. Philon coming off the bench. Both of these that Nate Oates has at his disposal.
And they're injured too. I mean, Latrell Wrightsall is out for the season. He was Alabama's best shooter before he got hurt. And then Houston Mallett, the transfer from Pepperdine, is out for the season as well.
Darion Reed, who, as we mentioned earlier, has had missed 6 of the last 8.
And open up the offensive glass. And in the first half, Alabama's done a better job on the offensive
game. But Jay, they all came, I think, in the first 6 or 7 minutes of the game.
They did. Knocked down a couple of threes and then off from too far out.
Frenetic pace, but no points in the last couple of trips. Johnson, the jumper over Amori, and Chaney Johnson now has 9.
Little confusion for Alabama on guarding Chaney Johnson when he's come into the game.
5th rebound of the afternoon for Janai Broome. Jones with a floater. Another rebound for Broome, and he's fouled.
Darion Reed was right there to grab that ball. I mean,
a couple of years
at the Ohio Valley Conference Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, playing for Preston Stradling.
Today, including 2 for 14 from 3-point range. Johnson open again and hits another 3. Chaney Johnson with his second 3.
Incredibly tough twos. You have to give Auburn credit defensively for forcing those. And that pushed it to a 9-point game. It was a 3-point game just a couple minutes ago.
Shot clock turned off. Final possession for the Tide. Sears steps into it. Missed it wide right, and with 0.3 of a second left, it will still be Alabama's ball.
All you can really get here is
there it is. But they can't get anything out of it. And a frustrating first half of the offensive end for the Crimson Tide. They are down 9, the first time all season. Can't get all the way to the rim. He kicked it out. Stevenson missed the 3 as we are underway here in the second half of our Sonic blockbuster matchup.
One of the ways you can free up Mark Sears, use him as a screener. That's what they did, but Kelly took it away from him.
Denver Jones knocks down a 3. So Auburn has 7 made threes. Alabama just 2, and it's a 12-point game.
Janai Broome able to play off Cliff Amori, basically in drop coverage.
Stevenson, a nice reverse. First bucket of the second half for the Tide.
Of Mark Sears, nothing is going his way, and he's had Denver Jones in his face this whole game.
The crowd trying to do what it can to help the Tide. That won't help, though. Denver Jones, his second 3 already here in the second half.
Just a simple ball screen from Janai Broome, and Denver Jones able to come off it with rhythm without anyone stepping up. Nobody at the line of the screen.
Sears leaning into Jones, and that will be called the team of the nation as Sears misses, and in addition,
hurts when your best free throw shooters are missing.
And he makes 2 out of 3. Stevenson a inbound. Holloway driving by Baker Mazzara, gets the floater to go. Holloway now with 5.
Off that action, Baker Mazzara switched off to Aiden Holloway, but it is awfully difficult to stay in front of him with his quickness. He can go side to side, cross over, and get by you.
Again, the transfer from Auburn, so you know he wants to have a big game today. Broome, the fadeaway. Boy, if he can't get back to that right shoulder, he's got other way. And Broome with his 10th rebound of the game. So with better than 16 minutes to go, Broome already has a double-double. Jones searching for his shot and having himself a day as he banks in a 3.
If you're not going to come up on that screen, he's going to keep shooting it. He's hit 3 buckets off that action.
Amori, nifty little lay-in. Now he's got to get back into the play. Auburn's got numbers if they hurry, but they don't take advantage.
Now that puts Grant Nelson having to pick up Janai Broome. There's the flex action.
Broome finds Kelly, and Kelly gets the roll.
Boy, awfully easy.
At Tennessee, and then as we mentioned, they'll go to Neville Arena in Auburn to end the regular season 3 weeks from today. Mo Diabate, shot clock down to 2. Great job got Broom underneath the bucket. Broom looking to the both teams deep. Good pressure by Philon on Kelly. Now Jones gets the shot off, knocks it down. Denver Jones has become the go-to guy at the offensive end for the Tigers.
He is having himself a half, and that was good defense by Diabate.
And Diabate will lay it in.
But he got hit on the head, and it wasn't called. You better be strong taking the ball to the basket in this game. If you look at the official, you're not going to get anything.
Hediford using the screen from Cardwell, knocks it down. A long two for Taha. Here comes Kelly. Oh, he was open. Lost it off the face of Nelson. It bounces to Johnson. And a lot of banging underneath, and a foul called on Grant Nelson. 35% on the season.
Yeah, one of the best defenders in the country.
This is his 153rd game for the Tigers. 5 years in the program. Missed them both. Sears is fouled by Cardwell, and that is number 4 on Dylan Cardwell.
That Aiden Holloway got on the other end. But he winds up getting the call at the end to score their way back into this game. They're going to have to get some defensive stops. And it may entail
wide open.
That's clearly a shot they don't mind him taking. Good pass.
And the reverse slam for Amori. And that's got the crowd fired up. Let's see what it does for the Tide. A touch for Broom. One-on-one with Amori. And another foul
by Alabama, switching sides of the floor in order to get that.
Just a little bit of lift, but he is still putting up huge numbers, even though he is not 100%. He's already got 15 and 10 with 5 assists in this.
Just a big-time player, does everything for Auburn.
Philon. And a foul will send Amori to the line. And when we come back with 11
for the Crimson Tide.
Hard to believe, isn't it?
It is hard to believe.
I mean, they average 34.4%, but they take a ton. They get to the line a lot. They're not making their free throws in this one. Offensive rebounding giving them a chance to stay in the game, but they got to convert. Sears defended by Jones yet again.
Jones has made it so hard for him just to catch the ball.
Tough shot.
It looked like he got hit as he was going up.
Kelly in transition. Wide open for a 3.
Boy, it's amazing, Dan. You take a bad shot, and on the other end, you get punished for it. A bad shot is the first pass in your opponent's fast break. And just when Alabama seems like they're getting even the slightest bit of momentum, Auburn shuts the door on them. Best shooter from the perimeter.
And just huge differences between the Tide's offensive numbers. Picked up his dribble, finds Philon. Off balance, it'll go. And they've got it down to single digits.
For Janai Broom.
The fadeaway, short. Philon being chased down by Kelly. That's going to go. What a play by Nigeria. 4 years at Rutgers, makes the free throw, and all of a sudden.
Little horn set right now for Alabama. 2 up top, 2 in the corners wide.
Sears. Yes!
A quick burst athlete.
Baker Mazzara bumped and fouled by Amori, and a couple of free throws coming.
That was made by the hesitation move.
Coming up next here on ESPN, Noah and Travis Perry did for Kentucky on Tuesday night.
They knocked down some timely threes. Those were big-time plays by those 2 Kentucky high school scorers.
The lead back to 5 for Auburn. Sears is open and hits again. His second three. And he looks shaken up. Maybe it's the ankle again, grimacing and not moving well, getting back on D. But he comes up with a block. The ball is loose and Nelson slams it and ties it. And Sears again. And the rebound to Kelly.
Boy, Kelly is such a good guard rebounder.
A transition three for Tahat Pettiford. Big time shot.
Does he have any fear at all? Things weren't going well for Auburn. He just pulls up in transition and knocks down a fearless three.
That's a freshman on the road in this kind of environment. But he's had some of his biggest games in some of their biggest runs. Youngblood with a three. And we're tied again. And it is game on here in Alabama. Number 1 and number 2.
Game on, and the lid is off for Alabama. After all these misses, they're starting to knock down threes.
Wow. Baker Mazzara with a three. And Auburn win it on the road without their best player. 6 minutes to go. Baker Mazzara soft off the glass. He has made some big plays here today.
So it showed some strength coming off that screen, getting grabbed, still came through it, and scored right over Aiden Holloway.
That's now 15 for Baker Mazzara. At the other end, Johnson the defense, Diabate the miss. Numbers for Auburn. Johnson tough catch and the finish. And all of a sudden, Auburn is back up 7.
Chaney Johnson has been truly outstanding in this game on both ends of the floor. His defense, and he's been a difference maker on the offensive end as well.
Sears has gotten hot here in the second half.
With basket.
And Sears. Broom splits a pair, 6-point game.
Cut and then the down screen.
Pettiford at the point, 5 minutes to go. Ball screen Cardwell. Pettiford drives. And another beautifully placed shot off the glass. This time by Tahat Pettiford. He made the basket.
But it's not,
but the
not
foul
called.
separate.
The foul's
Right,
on,
I see. You're right. Yeah. Yeah.
I thought the foul was on Amore, but the foul was on that push by Dylan Cardwell. So Aiden Holloway is going to shoot free throws.
And not made them both. And let's keep an eye on Janai Broom's mobility. Sets the screen for Pettiford. Flies into the paint and scores again.
Boy, if you're not going to have anybody.
And in and out for Pettiford. So it is still an 8-point game. Nelson driving, and that's a goaltending call. Count the basket.
Right now, Alabama is.
Pettiford driving again with the right hand. Tipped around, and Broom's got it.
How did he come away with that ball? He was surrounded.
Now, let's see if he tries to take him. Wants a ball screen. Shoots over him. Jaron Stevenson couldn't put it home on the putback. A great offensive rebound. Half dozen with Miles Kelly at the line.
And give credit to the bench of Auburn. Said before the game, and Nate Oates, I'm sure, said to his team, if we have single-digit turnovers.
Gone back to driving the ball on almost every trip. And it's an empty trip here.
Through contact, but not enough to get a foul. Yeah, they have to drive the ball, I think.
That's a foul. Kelly went flying, and it'll be Phylon. throw shooters for the Auburn Tigers. As you can see, high 80s. All four ball in their hands. You got to feel pretty comfortable if you're Bruce Pearl.
Yeah, that is a comforting thing down the stretch.
Way to go, Jay.
That was you. That was you.
9-point lead.
Well, Auburn has done such a good job of switching up to take things away when they have to switch.
Pylon bumps.
Jones went underneath that screen in the rim.
Made them both. Pylon outs. Oh, look at the pressure by Sears. Jones will bring it over.
A good balance by Chaney Johnson. Looked like he was going to fall backwards for a second there.
Open is Broom. Got it to go. What a great pass from Chaney Johnson.
And a nice flash into the middle of the lane.
Great cut. Stevenson lays it in. Sears the assist.
Yeah, anytime there's a drive, you're going to see a cutter from that 45-degree angle. And Mark Sears found him that time. Stevenson made sure to make that bucket. Missed an easy one a bit earlier.
But they've got to get stops to have a chance. Down by 7. Jones leans in, was looking for the whistle. Nelson the rebound. And there's a whistle, but before that.
Now Youngblood was basically riding him out of bounds. Now they're tied up. And then the shot with the right hand to the face of Youngblood.
And right away.
And this is really an opportunity to cut into this lead and put some real game pressure on Auburn down the stretch.
But they still got 5 very talented guys on the floor. 1 of 2. And he will bring it back out and work the clock under 2 minutes.
And Nate Oates thought he got fouled. But what a sequence. Only 1 point for Alabama in that situation.
Deflected, and then a late whistle, and the foul is called on Diabate. Pettiford makes the
now. But to come away in that sequence after the flagrant foul on Baker Mazzara with
time, Alabama has made a charge. Auburn has withstood it and had an answer. Sears blocked again, this time Moore. And great hustle by Diabate. Who else to get down on the floor? But protection.
Auburn has been protecting the rim in the second half, and especially late.
They've got 6 blocks in this game. Not more important than that one by Moore. 1.5 minutes to go, and Pettiford is not in a rush.
No, they want to take their time here. Burn clock, and then get into something with about 12 seconds to go on the clock.
Broom wants some space. Hanging with Diabate. Broom wins, and it's a double-digit lead. And number 1 is just over a minute away from winning here on the road in Alabama.
Broom on one leg, just so strong.
Sears is fouled, but under a minute to go, and Janai Broom just bound and
to get that big bucket and move it to 10 points.
19 points.
Excuse me, Alabama's inability to knock down perimeter shots, because they did a good job protecting the ball. It didn't have double-digit turnovers. They did a good job not allowing second shots by Auburn, and yet they are trailing with under a minute to go.
Pettiford gets it over to Kelly, and now they give the foul. Steven.
85+ 90+ free throw shooters.
1 versus 2 games for 2 different teams.
One game he was number 2, and this one number 1.
Yeah. Number 2 Tennessee beat Memphis in 08. And number 1 Auburn is on the verge of beating number 2 Alabama here today.
Yeah, but what's his record when he's number 3?
And a reminder, and we don't know what the rankings will be, but whatever they are, a reminder. Nelson fouls Broom, and Alabama is going to try to extend this as much as they can.
Do in the second weekend of the NCAA tournament, perhaps.
Thanks for saying what I was trying to say, but saying that here or there, and you can have a bit of an easier path in the NCAA tournament. And the same could happen in the SEC tournament. But the point is, I mean, just an incredible number of teams that can go a long, long way in the NCAA tournament will be congregating in Nashville. And their total the last 7 or 8 minutes, it feels like.
Well, and as you mentioned, I mean, this is an Alabama team that averages 10 made threes a game and just hit 17 against Texas.
And again, the foul. So Alabama's going to force Auburn to make free throws.
And that's all that Alabama. And get the quickest score that you can.
3 for 9 from the line.
You got to go get to the rim.
Holloway does. That's a goaltend. Count the basket, and it's a 5-point game.
This replay has taken over college basketball, and it does not work.
Now the foul on Jones, and Alabama foul. Seven-point game. Holloway, air ball. Johnson has it, immediately gives it to Kelly, and a foul is called.
These are two powerful offensive teams.
Nation. Auburn has had 6 different players not only reach double figures, 6 players with 13 or more points in this game.
You have to give a lot of credit to Auburn's bench.
Turned over. And will they let him go? Just 10 seconds remain. It's a 9-point lead. No more fouls, and number 1 Auburn comes into Coleman Coliseum, and they walk out of here with a big win. The first ever SEC 1 versus 2 matchup goes to number 1 in a rarity, an in-state 1 versus 2 matchup, just the 6th ever. And Auburn withstood every push, Jay, that Alabama made and just made plays down the stretch.
You think first of the defense that Denver Jones played on Mark Sears. Everything, especially in the first half, was incredibly difficult for